Your opinions about the world in which you live cause you to practice a vibration that equals your point of attraction. So what that does, and it's sort of an interesting thing to watch it happen, is you just keep supporting your own beliefs because law of attraction backs that up every time. If you believe that you are being treated unjustly and you keep that vibration active within you, those that match that belief in you will flock to you like moths to a flame. And you will announce to the world, this is an unjust world, or I am a victim because look at this train of stuff that is coming to me. But when you accept that it is a vibrational world, not a stuff world, that it is a vibrational world, just not a manifested world, that it is a vibrational world, and that in every moment you can read, you can recognize, you can know your vibrational offering as it relates to your most expanded being, that part that we talked about as we first began here, that expanded you that you can't hold back. When you start caring about alignment with that, rather than that. I care about how I feel, period. I care about how I feel, which means I'm going to choose the thought that most replicates the thought that the source within me is thinking about the thing that I'm thinking about in the moment that I'm thinking about it. Did you get that? You're thinking a thought. You're thinking a thought unless you're asleep. You're thinking a thought. Your mind is active, your point of attraction is active, and you have the option of moving your point of attraction closer to all that you are and all that you want, or further from all that you are and all that you want. You have that option in every moment, but you don't exercise it because you're observing rather than sensing vibration most of the time. So for most of you, we love you so much. You don't really start thinking about something until you have a manifestation that you don't like, and then you know what you think about? The manifestation you don't like. It's hard for you to think about the flip side of something that you don't like. Years ago, we introduced the idea of pivoting. Pivoting, which means the other end of the vibrational stick. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. But the question is, when you know what you don't want, are you actively involved in the vibration of what you don't want? Or are you actively involved in the vibration of what you do want? So when you know what you don't want, if you don't have enough money, what do you find yourself talking about mostly? Plenty of money? Not usually. You could, and it would be just as easy. If you're sick, what do you find yourself talking mostly about? Oh, my head hurts. You're mostly talking about what is. And that really is what we want to stir up a little bit in this conversation that we're having here today. Do you want to talk about what is? If what is great, yes, yes, yes. Lists of positive aspects could not be a more valuable process for you. Rampages of appreciation, there's no tool that will serve you more. There is nothing better for you than to talk, focus. Feel about the things in your world that are the way you want them to be. But those things that you identify as not the way you want them to be right now, you want to get off of them. Jerry used to tell a story, and Esther loved it because it was so explicit and made so much sense. She could see it right away. And when she held it in her consciousness, it served her. He said, sit in front of a fireplace. He lived in Arkansas at the time that he discovered this analogy. And there's a chinkapin log on the fire. Esther had never known what one of those was. She's still not sure she's ever seen one, but apparently when they are on fire, they pop a lot. So they are shooting sparks off at whoever is nearby. And he said, so you're sitting there with your beautiful new cashmere sweater, and a spark comes right to you, and he says, if you in that moment just flick it off, nothing happens to your beautiful sweater. But if you're distracted and don't notice, and you allow it to linger, then there is a bigger impact on your sweater. And his analogy is, when the thought first comes, and it's small and insignificant, and you flick it off by choosing another thought, it's simple. But if you allow it to smolder, if you allow it to grow, if you engage in conversations with others about it, if you write it in your diary, if you blog about it, if you write home about it, if you call that friend who always wants to know what's going on, and you tell them what's going on. In other words, are you ready to let go of more of what is on your way to where you're going? When you're driving down the highway, and it's a beautiful day out there, and you have this magnificent windshield, you just washed it, the day is bright, you're looking out ahead, or do you have your windshield installed in your floorboards? Or do you spend all of your time looking in your rearview mirror? The analogy is silly in that regard because you know what would happen if you were just looking down at the road while you were going. If you were just looking at what is, you wouldn't get very far down the road. If you're looking in your rearview mirror, you wouldn't get very far down the road either, would you? And it seems to most people like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But this is the work. Because you were born, you have seen, you have explored, you have experienced the contrast, you've given birth, you've put it in the vortex, it's in the vortex. Now it's time to prepare the environment that allows what's in the vortex to flow into your experience. And so start with that feeling of ease. Now, as the momentum begins coming and you stay in the flow, now you will be inspired. This is what we really want to say to you. If you can find that place of chilling that allows the stuff to start moving from the vortex into your grid, as it moves, the specific focus will be part of the process. In other words, you will be inspired to the specifics that allow the momentum to continue. It's like when you jump out of an airplane, you don't have to worry about keeping your speed up. Or when you're on an incline, you stop pedaling usually. Or you let up on the gas a bit. You get a sense of what we're talking about.
Yes.
So if you trust, that's a good word, if you trust that what you put in the vortex is there, and it is, and now you are using your focus to focus yourself into enough ease that will allow the momentum to begin. The momentum will carry the rest. And something like focus or impetus or speed is not part of the process. You don't have to keep momentum going. That's what we want to say. You don't have to keep momentum going. You just have to stop doing that thing you've been doing that slows the momentum. There. That's the answer to all things. We're done. Go home. That's the answer to all of it, isn't it? Just stop doing that thing you're doing. So that's why you want to just go as general as you can be. And the focus will be part of the natural momentum. It'll get clearer and funner and fuller and faster and more specific. So your grid from your source is general in nature. It's love, it's sureness, it's certainty, it's well-being, and it's strong, powerful. So here it is, and see it as sort of like a shaft of light coming up from your feet. That might be a good way to picture it. This energy stream, this core grid. And let's say that you're unhappy about something, so your grid isn't clicking in. In fact, it's bouncing off. Or you're uneasy about something, or you're remembering a past experience that wasn't pleasant, or you're worried about not being prepared for something, so you're not allowing it. But then you sleep. And when you sleep, you stop offering a vibration. And when you stop offering a vibration, your grid comes into alignment. And when you awaken, there you are back in your power till you remember what happened. And then you sleep again. And you come back into alignment with your core vibration. And then you wake up. And you remember, gotta go to work. Toys are all over the living room. And then you learn how to meditate. You quiet your mind. You stop thought. And as you stop thought, you stop resistance. And as you stop resistance, you come into alignment with who you are. And you don't really know what you're feeling, but you're feeling this detachment and this power, this really general. And in doing so, you've adjusted your vibration. Now, you're probably going to get back into your day and you're probably going to get out. But every time you chill, every time you relax, every time you meditate, every time you acknowledge what this feels like to be in alignment, it makes it easier for you to get there next time. Easier for you to get there next time. Until you begin to prepare, create, establish a pattern of vibration that is non-resistant. And as you establish this pattern of vibration that is non-resistant, now, all of the things that you've been asking for, in perfect timing, flow just like water flows downhill, right into your experience. And as they flow in, you begin to catch the momentum of those. Really, what we want to say to you, we think it is one of the most profound conversations that we've ever had. What we want to say to you is, the only thing you ever need or want to focus on is focusing yourself out of resistance and into alignment. And use the simplest of tools. Pet your cat. Put your feet in the jacuzzi. Lie on the beach. Lie in the sun. Go get a massage. Listen to music that makes you feel good. Do anything that you can do to relax yourself out of resistance. And as you practice that place of non-resistance, your grid will fill in with all of the components of all of the things, that all of the goal setting, all of the reaching, all of the things that you have been previously believing were your work to do. Did you hear what we just said? Yeah. Your only point of focus is preparing your grid. And the filling of the vortex into the grid will be all of the specifics and all of the wonderful things. People will come, you'll have conversations, you'll become animated, you'll all want to talk at the same time. The ideas will keep flowing, it just gets better and better. Your energy gets higher, you recognize your power, you come to understand your true knowing, you begin to feel the fullness of who you are, you get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you begin to recognize the beauty in others. In your alignment, you feel happy about where you are. You see the beauty wherever you are looking because in your alignment you are not able to see otherwise. Your words come out of your mouth at the perfect time and others are uplifted by the things that you say. In other words, really friends, it all takes care of itself. All of this goodness and all of this advantage and all of this wholeness and all of this help that you're wanting to offer to others becomes just second nature. It happens to you because you did the only thing that mattered. Jesus said, the meek shall inherit the earth. And that's what he's talking about. The aligned, the non-resistant, the non-agitated, those who are allowing the natural well-being that they were born with to be the basis of their experience. And then the specifics that you've carved out begin to flow in. We told you this story of creation in a lot of different ways. And we said to you that you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and that larger part of you still is. And here you are in this magnificent body, exploring the variety for the purpose of stimulating you and us, you and source, to a new idea of what could be an improvement beyond what is out here on this leading edge. And so you have relationships and associations and experiences that cause you to ask for things that you have not experienced, and in many cases that no one has experienced. In other words, you're asking, you're taking thought beyond that which it has been before. And that thought is preceding you in vibrational form, and the source within you is recognizing that as the new thought and is holding true to the vibrational nature of that new thought, knowing that it won't just be a thought unrealized, that it will be a vibration that is realized in full manifestational form in time. But right now, it is a vibration that exists that source is reveling in. And then as you, since you've already done the work, you came, you sifted, you sorted, you knew what you didn't want, you knew what you did want. Now, rather than turning to the specifics of what you're asking for, you stand in reverence to the perfection of who you are, in appreciation to the earth that you live on and the people who surround you. You look for reasons to love, and you find reasons to praise and appreciate. And you be as specific as you are able to be, but the bottom line is you want to feel good, and you want to feel good so much that you withdraw your attention immediately from anything that doesn't feel good. And as you find what does feel good, then that beam of light comes up from the core of that which you are, shines through you, and gives you a leverage.